Hi and welcome to that new video with a weird setting because today we are going through all my TBR books because since the beginning of this year, I've been having a hard time keep reading and I've been pausing and DNFing a lot of books, but I've been also buying way too many books and it's time that I stop buying and start reading everything. So before this get out of control, let's go through all my TBR and try to get through it. So of course here are all the books I got recently. I still have more books at my parents'. I still have more books somewhere in a box. And at some point I will go through them and see which book I already read and I add to my shelf, which one I'm adding to my TBR, and which one I will just unhaul. But that will be for another time, another video. For now, let's go through all the mainly fantasy books I got the last few months and still didn't manage to read. And I'm putting myself in this weird setting because actually those two shelves are my TBR shelves. Here you have the Maze Runner trilogy. I own those books for like over a decade. I've watched the movies several times actually, and I never picked up the books. And I'll be honest, I'm not feeling like picking up the books because I don't really like the girl. I know that's stupid. I know she's not the main part of the story, but also like I really enjoyed the first movie. The other part of the story was less the stuff I like, so I'm a bit scared to go into it. And also I don't know how much of the books and the movies are working together and how much is not the same. So if you read The Maze Runner, please let me know what should I do. I will read it at some point, but I just don't feel like picking it up. The other books I've been owning for over 10 years, we have the Divergent trilogy, also one of those dystopian classics from the 2010 that I watched the movies and never read the book. Actually, seen my average wrap-up. I tried to start it and then I paused. But I will come back to it because I do want to know what the story is, and also the book. The film never finished and I want to finish the book to know how the story ends, and I know it deviates. But yeah, Darker Shade of Magic. That I recently got, and I have that beautiful edition here, and there is actually a map somewhere inside. And I did started the book. If you've seen my February and March wrap up, I did started it, but I was not in the mood for it. Telling you, the beginning of the year, I paused and DNF so many things. There is different London based on colors and based on the politics and everything. And you follow Kale, who is the one of the only person who can travel between the worlds, and there is some politics involved and some magic. And that's all I remember. I remember there is a girl also, but don't remember much about her. So, yes. Then we have Red City here. Red City that I really would like to get into. I'm just a bit scared because it's urban fantasy and I'm scared with urban fantasy because I'm having a hard time with it if it's too modern. Like, if there is too many nowadays stuff, it really disconnects me, especially here. I know it's in Los Angeles, but I also know it's inspired by the Persian old mythology. I think we say mythology, I'm not sure, I'm sorry. Like, where that dragon came from. So I'm really intrigued and I think I will pick it up soon. I don't know when exactly, but soon. Then here I will organize myself later. Then we have Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. I read all of her other books, so I'm waiting to be in a mood that I know that I feel like a Stephanie Garber book. And for me, Stephanie Garber book is something easy to read with a lot of description and easy to follow and just a fast, quick, nice, enjoyable read. I know that some people were a bit let down by this book, who is supposed to be adult and felt YA. I guess I will see, and apparently everybody thought this was a standalone, but it is not, and yet I don't have any info on the second book coming. But I like this edition. We have Tales of a Deadly Devotion. It's actually the second book. It will be able to write this here. The second book of Tales of a Monstrous Heart that actually I started. It's another book I paused, and I paused it twice already. So next time I pick it up, I'm not pausing, I'm going it through. It's a gothic fantasy with a lot of monsters. It's just that it's a lot of information thrown at you and you need to remember everything, and there is not a glossary or anything, and it kind of bugs me. But it is interesting, so I do want to finish it. Then let me take that back. You know what? Who will move the setting? Then we have Wandering Wild by Lynette Noni. I'm a bit scared for this one because as much as I love Lynette Noni, it is a YA contemporary romance. It seems like the kind of story I would love to watch in a movie, especially with adult people. And I love Lynette Noni's writing. I love all of her books, even though I have some that I prefer than others. But I thought, you know what, maybe at some point I will want a break from fantasy, and that could be a nice shift. And if I dive into a new genre, better be an author I like. So we have this book. Then we have The Baby Dragon Bakery. I read already The Baby Dragon Coffee shop? Yes, coffee shop, I think. Cafe. It's written just behind The Baby Dragon Cafe. For me, it's romance with a hint of fantasy, like it's basically the baby dragon. It was very nice, it was very cute, it was very fast-paced, but it was a bit like too light for me. So I'm waiting to be in a mood, like maybe after a heavy read, you just want something quick, something cute, something fast. Then, because I love reading Rebecca Ross books that are not her famous books, have the Queen Rising duology with the Queen Resistance. So it's Rebecca Ross duology. I think it is YA. It's inspired by the French monarchy or something, set in some kind of French time where it was king and all. That's pretty much all I remember. See, she was in the land of elegance, etiquette, and learning. So I'm really excited for this one. I tried to read it on my Kindle, but there were some maps and some family trees, and I'm really bad with names. So I thought, you know what? Like, see here, this to read on a Kindle, it's just a nightmare. So I thought I would like to have the physical book, and apparently, because I have also I loved one of her standalone books. It's Sisters of Sword and Song, which is so good, and apparently I've decided that all her underrated books, I will get them in physical, and her famous one, I will get them on Kindle. No, I'm kidding, it's not a conscious decision, but that's what I'm doing these days. Then I have A Language of Dragon. It's one of the books I got when I was in Scotland, and actually I think it's trilogy and it's finishing soon. So maybe I will wait on that a bit for all the books to be out, so then if I really like it, I can binge it. Because I really feel like if I binge a series, I'm more into it, I enjoy it more, I'm more immersed, and then I like the story overall better than if I take breaks. This book and the one I will tell you after, you have everything on my Scottish book haul video. We have The King's Witches, another book I got in Scotland. And it's in Edinburgh, 1589. This is not fantasy, I think. No, this is not fantasy. This must be historical fiction. So that will be fun, and it's pretty short. And usually when it gets spring, summer, I'm more in the mood for Scottish vibes. So we'll see. Then you have The Last Week of Scotland, which is historical fiction inspired by real events, and I know that it will be kind of heartbreaking. It's pretty short, so I'm waiting just for a nice weather weekend where I know I have time to binge it. And then we have The Green Lady, another Scottish inspired historical fiction, and that seems fun. All those books I got in Scotland, you have all the info on my Scottish book haul. So let's go back to that part of my setting. And then here we have, first we have Thursday Murder, because it's also one of the books I got in Scotland. This is more like detective but funny with old people, older people and retired people, and that seems fun. I did try just a few pages, it seems very fun, and I'm waiting to want the fantasy break, basically. Then you have one that people will be mad and controversial, but Six of Crows, I have the duology. I've been having them since last July, and let me tell you why I didn't read them yet. I read Shadow and Bone trilogy, and while I really enjoyed the second book, I know it's an unpopular opinion, it felt very YA, and by the end of the third book, I was like, yeah, okay, can we be done with that story and move on already? Because, yeah. While Shadow and Bone was a nice, fun, easy read, it was not one of the books I liked the most, so I've been pushing off Six of Crows, because especially I know it's about a heist. I'm not big on heist. Just been scared because everybody loved this so much, and I didn't love Shadow and Bone that much. I'm scared to be disappointed. I will definitely try it. Maybe I will unroll it at some point, but I will try it first. Just need to hush myself, I think. Then let's go to... So this is my current read, so the book is not here. And actually, it's soon, within a few days, it won't be on my TBR anymore. But anyway, then we have 2 books that I just got, and they are duology. And the next book I know is coming out like soon. One is Dance of Lies. The next book is coming out this summer, like early August, I think, and it's a duology. So I would like to binge it, and I've been holding on myself to buy the book so I would binge it, but I just got weak and I bought this one, and I really want to read it, but I also want to binge it, so it's here, and we'll see if I'm waiting for the second book to come out or not. Same dilemma with The Night and the Moth. I loved One Dark Window. Read it in August, so the release date was already given for the second book in this duology, which is coming out 1st of September. But again, I was holding on and not buying this book, and yet I just caved. And will I hold on? I don't know, especially now I have one of my friends, she also ordered it, so I'm like, well, you need to let me know if you're gonna read it and when you're gonna read it, because already my mom read it before me, because I offered her One Dark Window and she loved it, so she already read this one, and I'm like, if you also read it before me, then I will have to read it. I will have no choice left. Then in some more unpopular book, I just got The Curse of Callian. It's from 2001, I think. It's more like old classic epic fantasy vibe, I think. It's a standalone. I mean, there is more books in the series, but it reads as a standalone. You can see like even the printing here. You can see like it like they keep the old image and the pixelization didn't stand. So I'm excited to do that, because that's one thing that kind of bugs me, is I get a lot of my recommendation, of course, from book content creators, but I do love finding books that are not popular and going to libraries. The problem is here I don't have as many English books as if I were living in UK. Like a lot of my bookish book haul has a lot of books that I wouldn't have find or heard of if I had stumbled upon them in Scotland. I'm trying somehow to find more unpopular books that not everybody is talking about, but doesn't mean they're not good. Which bring me to Shadow. That's chunky. The Shadow Casket. Here this one is from 2023. It's the second book. The first book is The Amber Blade, which one from 2018, and it's supposed to be a trilogy. I have no clue when the third book is supposed to come out. I'm not even sure the author is working on it. It's kind of a classic, immensely readable classic epic fantasy, and I mean, just look at the cover. Don't you want to go and swam and get immersed into that world? Because I do. So I ordered at the same time The Amber Blade, and I just actually learned 2 days ago that my copy of the first book, Amber Blade, has been sent back to the supplier, and it arrived damaged, so they just canceled my order. So it kind of pissed me off. I just got it on Kindle, because anyway I could find only the paperback of the Amber Blade, and I prefer hardcovers, so like this. I have just this beautiful hardcover, and since they're both chunky books, I think it would be also comfier to have the first book on my Kindle. Then we have those 2 books. It's historical fiction. It's part of the books I want to read in 2026, by the way. Not all of them were on my 2026 leads, but a few of them were. This is following The Lost Queen by Sign Pike. It's a historical fiction based on Merlin twin sister. Probably have more info on those books in my other videos. Then, the last of my physical TBR, because we still have my Kindle to go through, we have Cassandra Clare. I was very scared to go into her whole big, huge world of clockwork or something YA. So we have The Swordcatcher, that's the first book I started, also paused halfway through. You have all the info on my February wrap-up. Then I have the second book, and here I have the Pretty Spread Ages, which is following, and apparently the first one is a lot of setup. I can confirm it's a lot of setup. So then here you can get into all the action and more interesting. I just need my brain to be able to handle setup. Here are all my physical TBR reads, but I also have my Kindle TBR read and also all the books I paused. So let's go through that as well. Forgot this. So for this, I need my glasses. So they're on. I got my Kindle here with my cutest fox cover. I love that cover so much. And let's go through all the books I own but didn't read yet. I go first with the books that were not bought directly on Kindle. So we have The Heart of Betrayal, which is the second book into the trilogy of... I just had the name. Kiss of Deception. It's part of Kiss of Deception. Actually, I started it and I DNF'd at 28%. I honestly don't know if I will ever go back to it. I feel like I should make the decision now to say, okay, I will try again or not. You know what? Right now, honestly, I will try again. I will try again because honestly, all the books I've paused or DNF, I know why I paused or DNF and what was bugging me. But this one, I don't get it. I should love it and I don't know why. So I will try again, but not when I'm in my DNF pausing everything I try phase. So let's wait a bit, and then I have The Beauty of Darkness, which is the third and last book of that trilogy. Then I have Bad Blood and All In, which are from the Natural series. It's not fantasy at all. It's like Criminal Minds, but with teenagers. So those, I was reading them when I needed a fantasy break. And I wanted a bit more murdery because I had a lot of books about serial unalivers when I was younger, so it reminds me of that time. Then I have Locklands and Shorefall. They are the second and third book of the Countryside trilogy, which is fantasy, sci-fi. Some people qualified it as science fiction, some of a mix of both. I didn't binge that series because it took a lot of brain power to understand, especially between the English word I never heard of and the word that were invented by the author. It took a lot of brain power. And I do want to know what's happening afterwards, and I feel like the more I'm pushing it away, the harder it will be to get back into it. But at the same time, I know I need my energy, and I don't have it right now. And then I have Murder at Brightwall. It's a British mystery book, also for breaks of fantasy. Then I have The Dragon Wakes with Thunder. It's actually the second book in a duology. That duology is The Night Ends with Fire. It's a Mulan retelling, and I read the first book, and while I enjoyed, then it got more into some kind of magic, and it kind of lost me. And the second book, I just did not connect to it, so I think this one, I don't think I will try again. I think this one is a forever DNF. Oh, here we are. Then I have Remember by Cheyenne Cleveland. It's an author I discovered through Instagram. She's self-published and she's marketing it at if you are missing the Hunger Game, Maze Runner, Divergent vibe style. She inspired for that and she made her own story. So I read the first chapter before I ordered it to see if I like the writing, and it seems very good. And I haven't picked it up yet. It came out, I think, in, when was it? March? I don't remember. Like few weeks, months ago. And actually, I really would like to go into that because her writing and the world seems very nice, and the throwback from those classic dystopians seems very nice too. Then we have The Devil in the Marshall Sea by Antonia Hodgson. She's the writer of The Raven Scholar. She wrote her historical fantasy, and I was just not in the mood for it, but I do want to keep reading it. Then what do we have? Well, we have Trial of Sorcerer by Alice Kova, which is actually is currently in my KU abonnement, but I'm cancelling it for next month because I'm not been using it. I do want to read it. It just feels very YA. It's very entertaining, but very YA, and I was just not in the mood for very YA recently, so I will give it another try at another time, maybe after a heavier read. We have Spark the Flame and the Bone Shard Daughter. I'm telling you more about this on my April wrap-up. Then we have Smoke and Scar that actually would like to order the book because it seems very interesting. It seems very court theme and all that, and I don't know, I read the prologue and the first chapter, and I'm really intrigued and I want to know more, but I don't want to keep my KU abonnement, so I will see if I order the physical copy. But it seems very nice, and the second book is coming out this summer, and I think it's supposed to be a trilogy again. Then we have The Amber Blade that I did get on my Kindle, so that's the first book from the one I showed you before with the beautiful scenery. And then we have Amber and Steel by Donna Morgan. I discovered her also through Instagram, and the cover of her book is just stunning, and apparently it's a girl who goes in Tone Druid circle and somehow it transposes her somewhere else. I don't know. I I heard the cover was beautiful. It was Stones, and then I read the first few pages, and the writing was so nice and beautiful. I was, you know what, I wanna support that person and give it a try. And so I think that will be my next read actually. So that won't be on my TBR. I think that's it. That's all the books on my TBR, physical and Kindle TBR, that I would like to read. Some of them are on my 2026, on my 26 books I would like to read in 2026. By the way, it's not going well, that list. I will do situation points end of June to see where we are. In that, I might remove some book, I might add some other books, but yeah, that list is not going very well. So that's all the books I have that I want to read, that I own, because then there is all the other books that I want to read that I don't own. So anyway, did you read any of those books? Which one should I prioritize? All the books that I'm scared to read, can you convince me to pick them up? Let me know. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will not do monthly TBR because some months I will read 3 books, some months I will read 12. I never know. So picking up 5 books I will read this month will just put me pressure, and I'm pretty sure that I will be like, oh, you know what? I said I will read it this month, so no, I won't read. I'm too much of a mood reader. Like, if you haven't gotten that from me yet, I'm too much of a mood reader to stick to a TBR. So I will just maybe do some vlog about trying to take down my TBR to make more videos, but I will not do TBR jar and all that. That just, nope, that will not work. So that's all. Let me know what is on your TBR and what you're pushing away and what are you scared to read or for some reason, or like me, you're like me and you're just waiting to have the series complete because you like to binge. So let me know. I wish you a beautiful day. I hope my weird anchors for filming were okay for you. And I think that's it. Have a good day.